morning to both of you. Hope you had a nice holiday weekend.
Morning.
Is this a case kind of, Karen, where, okay, great, he's going to talk to Eric Holder, but optics can't help here. Unless you're pulling up to the pump and that price of gas is coming down instead of going up, the president is going to take some of the heat for it.
Well, and he has to take some of the heat, as George Bush needs to take some of the heat, as Bill Clinton needs to take some of the heat, as we should go back
But they're not running for office.
They're not running for office, but this problem that we're in started 3 decades ago.
But people don't think that when they drive up to the gas pump and it costs them $80 to fill up their tank.
And Chris, to be honest with you, we also need to look in the mirror, because a lot of where this economy is has to do with our mentality. Most of us are overextended. We live above our means. We want things instantly. There's a lotto mentality. We want things the way we want them and not the way that they are. And this president has unfortunately been reacting to that, in addition to him inheriting a really, really, really bad economy that I can actually, talking about the gas prices and all this, no one's looking at the gold prices, which are now $1,500 an ounce. That's all because in 1971, Richard Nixon decided to take us off of the gold standard, and I think Pat was in the administration at the time, and what it did was it made our dollar basically worthless, and all we were riding on is our good feeling and good name, which has eroded over the years. So now we're sitting here with none of that, and we're printing money every day like drunken sailors, and our dollar is devalued. So it takes more dollars to buy that gallon of gas. It takes more dollars to buy that ounce of gold. That's really where we are.
Is that, though, Pat, what's going to be at play here when we look ahead to 2012 and as people look at Barack Obama right now?
Here's what's going to be at play. Your food prices are rising. The gasoline prices are rising. It cost me $4.30 for regular at the pump just yesterday on Easter. And in addition to that, the dollar is sinking like a stone. People are running away from the dollar. Gold is at $1,500 plus. Silver is almost $50 an ounce. What this says is the world does not have any confidence in the dollar, which means it doesn't have great confidence in U.S. Treasury bonds. Bill Gross of PIMCO, the bond fund, has started dumping he's dumped all his Treasury bonds, and he's shorting it. That means that the Treasury bond is going to go down in value and interest rates are going to go up. So what you got, Chris, coming is a combination of inflation, prices surging, and stagnation because interest rates
and yet the American people look at this and they say, I'm hurting, and yet we're expecting later this week for oil company profits to come out. They're going to be up, Karen. They're going to be up.
Of course.
The banks are doing fine. The oil companies are doing fine. They're all doing fine.
Yes, and we're the ones, the American people, who are biting the bullet and have to tighten our belts, and we're the ones that have to, look at ourselves and make adjustments accordingly. And yes, it's going to fall at the feet of this president, but we cannot underscore that this started before he got here. And it took 30 years for us to get here. It's not going to take us 4 years to get here. Including the Clinton years.
Let me play for you a little piece of sound, because a lot of people don't hear the weekly radio address, especially on a holiday weekend. The president did talk about gas prices. Here it is.
Whenever gas prices shoot up, like clockwork, you see politicians racing to the cameras, waving three-point plans for $2 gas. You see people trying to grab headlines or score a few points. The truth is, there is no silver bullet that can bring down gas prices right away.
Is he right about that, Pat? Is it unfair to blame the president when we pull up to the pump?
He's exactly right. And all this silly posturing of going to the Justice Department, investigating the oil companies and all the rest is preposterous. The reason gasoline prices are going up is because the value of our currency is going down dramatically, and there is something of a crisis in the Middle East. And look, Herbert Hoover was not responsible for the Depression. He was sitting there in his chair 6 months in office when the whole thing collapsed. And this is the problem Obama has got. If it collapses on his watch, I don't care who was responsible, whether it was Richard Nixon or George W. Bush, it is his crisis in 2012.
Yet another sign of the apocalypse. We agree.
Yep. Okay. And I'm going to leave it on that note because I'm too shocked to go on. But Karen, always great to see you. Pat Buchanan, thanks very much. Do you think there is something criminal about the high price of gas at the pump? Well, Attorney General